What's up with the squad? Back with another video. As y'all can see in the title down below, got some Jasmine Crockett. I haven't been on Jasmine Crockett in a minute, but now she is, coming back out. She goes into hiding after she done said something outrageous, crazy, and then she's back out. She's back out with it, and saying obviously more outrageous things, and a lot of people have, a lot to say. And it kind of surprised me. It definitely kind of surprised me that Stephen A. Smith, has something to say, when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and Gavin Newsom. Before we get in this video, I definitely want to apologize for not dropping yesterday. I usually drop every day, but when I say it was a hectic day yesterday, it was a hectic day. We'll talk about a different day, but definitely was a challenging day, and I couldn't really get nothing done. But, definitely my apologies. But let's see what Jasmine Crockett is talking about.
Let me ask you, because I do want to play a couple of statements that you made earlier this year.
Okay. Unfortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States. They want to show that they are loyal to this, I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things, but this wannabe Hitler for sure.
And to be clear, the president has attacked, other people have attacked you in his orbit, maybe not him personally. But do you have a responsibility as an elected official not to raise the temperature, but rather lower the temperature, particularly when there are people out there who listen to elected officials all over the place who are not well, who use that as a way to instigate the political violence that you are calling out?
I think that my responsibility is to be transparent and to be honest. And the reality is that we are living in a time in which this administration and this regime is not interested in making sure that people understand history. We need to understand why they are so problematic. And so I am using that language because it is accurate language. When we see the consolidation of power, when we see them trying to chill speech of jokesters, when we're seeing all of this, that is a playbook out of Hitler, and I won't deny it.
I don't see how she would call anybody else problematic when y'all just seen Dana Bash show clips of her inciting violence. I truly don't get that. And I feel like that's why a lot of people have so many problems when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, with these situations, and other Democrats. But especially, Jasmine Crockett, I feel like they always bring up the simple fact that, the right or, Trump or President Trump's administration needing to take accountability. They never take accountability after you obviously see, and y'all know me, Dana Bash is no saint at all. Y'all know how I feel about Dana Bash. But one thing about it is that she just showed clips of her, saying these things, and she still isn't taking accountability and pointing the finger, calling the right problematic. And that's insane to me. This is Lindy Lee on Jasmine Crockett saying that about President Trump.
But I'm just so frankly alarmed by people like Jasmine Crockett, who just yesterday she called, she insinuated that Charlie was adhering to principles or ideas of Hitler. She used that word. She said Hitler on CNN. She said, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to apologize for anything. The host gave her an opportunity. Dana Bash gave her an opportunity to revise what she said. And she said, no, I'm not going to back down. Like Hitler it is.
And that right there is what's going to get more and more people, and I don't want to wish any negativity on anybody. Y'all know that. But one thing about it is that when you have a person that's constantly doing these things and saying these things, that's not doing nothing but wanting more people to get hurt. And that's obviously what they want. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people that support Jasmine Crockett, that support these Democrats that's constantly on air and inciting violence, and then pointing the finger, and it's definitely unnecessary. It's definitely unnecessary. But then had the audacity to say, that these people are MAGA, these people come from the right, that's doing these violent things, and we obviously seeing that, they're clearly not, and it's pretty sad, when you really think about it, because if y'all really just, simply sit down and just think about the things, this is not just something that, okay, we're going after just this one person. it's people that are literally doing this to churches, to schools, and to all these things, and it's definitely sad. It's definitely sad. This is Stephen A. Smith on Jasmine Crockett's agenda. Check it out.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work.
Come on now.
Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I
feel like that's what a lot of them don't get, though, is that they look so much of getting people. And this is the problem that I have. You have so many people that look to, want this violence, want these riots, and want these things rather than, okay, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Let's see what we can do. We don't really have much that we can do, but we can, try to work things out, see what we can do instead of, okay, let me incite violence, let me bash the president, let me create chaos for no reason. It's crazy.
I get something out of it for my constituency because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent the people of West Virginia. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
Come on now.
I don't know. Maybe that just sounds ignorant because it's so simple. But it ain't that damn complicated.
At all.
We make it complicated.
It's sickening. I'm not even gonna lie. It's definitely sickening. And I feel like, it's one of those things that, you constantly talk about and try to, get people to understand, but they don't. And all you can is keep trying, keep doing what you can. And that's why a lot of times, I try to get these videos out. I try to, show y'all, and I try to get people not only, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize what my channel is. There's so many people that be like, oh, well, why is your title this, or why is your thumbnail this, and why is this? Man, I do everything I can to bring everybody to my channel. Just so even if they listen to 30 seconds, a minute, so they understand where I'm coming from, understand how, these individuals are that's constantly making things worse. This is nothing to where it's just like, oh yeah, all my videos are literally just for, the right. The videos that I put out is literally exposed. Like it's nothing about it. It's nothing about all pointing fingers. This is all facts. This is what we're seeing. This is not something that it's this post, and somebody posted about, this individual. These are individuals that are saying these things, from their own mouths. Dana Bash just showed clips of Jasmine Crockett and how she is as a person, and what she's saying instead of working things out. She rather go, and create chaos and talk crazy about Trump rather than, okay, well, let's figure this out. I'm gonna show y'all the video of her district, but it's things like that. You worried about getting people fired up, to hate Trump, but your district not even together. Not only your district not together, your act ain't, the way that you treating people. It's so many things that Jasmine Crockett does, that I absolutely just don't like. I truly do not like, and she's definitely a hateful person. She's a hateful person, and one thing about it is that if they actually sit there, and this is obviously something that they won't do, but sit there and try to work something out, I feel like things would definitely get a little better. But they push this whole agenda just to make people and have people and brainwash people into just hating Trump. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad. Check it out.
See, we got to stop acting like the Democratic Party is the party for the working man and women, when in fact, Trump won because the working man and women felt that the Democrats were no longer for the working class. They were for the elitists on the left. Now, how accurate in pinpointing those things, that's a subject for another day. But clearly, that's a perception that existed, and still exists. How did that happen? How did that happen? When you got the vast majority of American citizens, this country, the vast majority of your folks are small business folks, small business owners. You got people working in the federal government, people working for small businesses, et cetera, et cetera. That's the vast majority of Americans. Most people ain't on the fringes. Most people are in that cocoon. They're in that clique, rather. So how the hell did the Democrats become a party for elitists with billionaires in those suites and everything? You know why? They were bought off, just like everybody else. That's what the hell happened.
I'm telling you, I feel like so many people are fired up now, about how, when it comes to the Democrats and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I feel like, the main thing is that, like I said before, this is not something to where it's like I said, this is happening to, and y'all, I don't want to make this sound wrong. These things that they're doing and having people and causing people, going towards, adults or, this person, it's a lot of kids that's involved. It's a lot of kids that's involved because of the hate that, the left is pouring out, the individuals. Like I said before, I say this really every other day on my videos. There are some people that are very sick in the head. There's some people, that's negative, that's mean, that's cruel. And those same people look at, a lot of these congressmen, congresswomen, and they look and see, especially from the left, as we've been seeing. And they look and they see, even it's just not them, everybody, I just mentioned The View. And they look at them and they like, oh, they fired up about this. They admire them. They support them, everything. What do you think they're going to do? I mean, I'm just being real with y'all. I'm being straightforward. It's sad. It's definitely sad. And one thing about it, those kids that they're doing this to have nothing to do with, the conversation, these things that's going. That's the sad part about it. These kids at school to learn. They're kids. In these churches, learning about the Lord, these are kids. But all the Democrats are doing is constantly inciting violence and pointing the finger. Fix the problem. Talk about it. Calm down. Stop. It has to stop. I'm telling y'all, it definitely has to stop. This just goes to show you, all for herself.
So as I've been telling people, your payment is on layaway. Yeah, that's basically what that is. Now, that is for those people that are deemed essential. You have a number of people in the federal government that are not deemed essential. So if someone's not deemed essential, then they're sitting at home waiting to get called back to work. And even if they're sitting at home, they are not allowed to go out and get another job. Yeah, they make you be broke until they get their stuff together. And to be clear, members of Congress, we still get paid. I just want to put that out there because I like.
It literally just goes to show y'all, she cares for Jasmine Crockett. She doesn't care for the working people. As Stephen A. Smith don't care about the working people. Obviously don't care about anybody in her district. Again, I will show y'all myself. She don't care about that stuff. I'm telling y'all. Check it out from Stephen A. Smith one more time.
Crockett, you're calling them everything under the sun. How's that going to work? If it serves to alienate folks because they're saying you're just him on the other side of the aisle, acting the same way you're accusing him of acting, and then you get dismissed. AOC, I believe, can win the Senate seat in New York over Chuck Schumer. I don't think she'll win the presidency. Gavin Newsom's talking about.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't think anybody on the left is going to win the presidency. After I don't think nobody. I feel like it won't be there for a while. I feel like so many people. I've been seeing videos on X, TikTok, Instagram, multiple videos, everywhere. You know, on social media, that people are leaving the Democratic Party, and it shows. I feel like so many people already did that as Trump got into office. You know, ever since like last year, I feel like putting these videos out and seeing more and more people. And it made me happy. You know, I actually was in Walmart not too long ago. I was in Walmart not too long ago, and I had seen it was this woman that stopped me, a black woman. She had stopped me, and I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is what surprised me about it. First of all, my mom, she's a person that likes to talk a lot. So this woman stopped me, and she's like, "I knew that was you." In my head, I'm like, I don't really know who you are, you know? So I told her, I don't really know who you are. And I'm like, do you know my mom or something? Do you know my, she was like, no, I watch you on YouTube. You're amazing. And it made me happy. It made me happy. I know I'm not all about race, you know, and I speak on, you know, this, that, and the other. And that, but it made me happy because it's like, people are starting to realize, and I don't obviously know this woman, you know, she might be on the right, you know, her whole life, but at the same time, it went to show me that it's more and more people that are understanding, that watch me, you know, within my videos, see what I truly have to say. You know, there's people that have been DM me and said that they, you know, they understood, you know, obviously you still get bad DMs. But, you know, there's people that commented and said, you know, I'm glad that I watched a video to get a better understanding about this. I've had family members reach out to me and say that, you know, so it's definitely important, you know, and that's why I feel like the left has no chance of winning, you know. I don't see that. I don't see that for a while. I think the next 20 years or so, I don't see that, because I feel like there's been so much, you know, that they've already done. But I feel like this past year has been terrible. I'm not even gonna lie when it comes to the left.
About potentially running for the president. Actually, he's not talking about it. He's trying to avoid talking about it. But we all know what he's doing, because he has to leave the gubernatorial seat in 2026. The governor's seat in 2026. We know what he wants. You gonna pull it off with the record that took place in California all of these years under your stewardship? It's nice to see him sticking his chest out and going off. You think they don't have clips of how you embraced extreme leftist policies during the whole woke movement and cancel culture and everything else? You think they don't have those clips? You think they didn't see people getting arrested and let out of jail the same day? You think they don't have footage of crime ravaging the streets of Los Angeles or homelessness? You think they don't know about the cost of living and how it's the highest in this republic right now?
Come on now. And that's just Gavin Newsom. Check out Jasmine Crockett.
Go ahead and look at where she represents, and it's sort of a really good reflection of who she is. It's ghetto as hell, it's broke, and it's hard to look at. Which I think is...
Look at this. It says Trinity Church and got a bar and grill in the same spot. These are things that she needs to be focused on, rather than, oh, let me turn everybody and tell them to just hate on Trump. These are things that's important. Right here. A lot of times, like I'm gonna be real with y'all. There's a lot of times, y'all know I'm straightforward. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. There's a lot of times, a lot of people that do go to church, a handful of people that go to church, that have problems, you know, with drinking, with drugs, and they have a bar right next to a church, that triggers some people. It really will. I have family members that you can't have that stuff. You can't be around. You can't talk about it. You can't any of that to help a person out. And maybe it shouldn't be that deep to where of a person, but that's just reality. That's just reality. That's sad, bro.
Really unique. Still got payphones. And lots of trash. And lots of blight. It's like no business is actually open.
Look at that.
It's interesting. It's just so much blight.
Free public toilet.
The people living in South Dallas were kind to us. They were warm and gentle, and they deserve better than a code-switching theater kid playing a hood rat representing them.
And that's true. It's all true. I can about imagine that the people are gentle, they're kind, you know, when people come across them or things. I can just about imagine. It probably is like that. And they probably are, you know, like that. And honestly, I've seen videos. There's videos on Shonen Daniels, and I know he's definitely gonna get that seat. I know he's definitely gonna win it. But there's videos on Shonen Daniels' account, you know, on his ex account of, you know, him going, you know, in her district and talking to different people and stuff like that. And I feel like people just need a better understanding. I know it's sad, you know, when we sit here and we talk about it and this, that, and the other, but I feel like so many people need a better understanding of what's really going on. You know, that it takes people time, especially people that really don't know anything about politics. And when they see somebody of their skin color, and this, y'all know, again, I'm straightforward. When they see somebody of their skin color that's acting, you know, ghetto and this and acting like she's from the hood and, you know, and they're, you know, seeing their district and, you know, where they're from, they're obviously looking at this woman, okay, she represents us. They're not looking at the simple fact of what she's about, her not really helping them, her only there to bash them. They're not looking at a lot of that. And I know it's sad to say, but a lot of people need that guidance. A lot of people need that guidance. Me for one, I'm not about to sit here and act like, oh, yeah, I just jumped right into this. I didn't know anything about it. I come from a Democratic family. I didn't know anything about it until I had to see for myself. And when I see it for myself, oh, yeah, it was over with. It didn't take me long. It didn't take me long. Check out what President Trump has to say about Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett recently.
Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late great David Crockett? I don't think Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one because she shouldn't even be in the group. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person who I can't even believe is a congressperson.
I'm telling y'all, I feel like a lot of people. I think I've been saying it ever since I seen Jasmine Crockett. I couldn't believe that she, you know, was a congressperson and she got into Congress. But it didn't surprise me either, because again, just what I just said, there are people that literally voted for her. There are people that voted for her just based off of the way she acted. You know, just like Kamala. We seen Kamala's campaign. Through Kamala's whole campaign, she literally sat there and had that whole time of getting this celebrity, that celebrity, getting everybody fired up. And people like that. People definitely like that when they have these so-called free concerts, you know, and when they're paying people to be there. You know, so yeah, people are definitely going to go. I mean, there's people that I'm sure that didn't support Kamala, but hey, they went, they got paid and got a meal. I'm telling y'all, it's things like that. A lot of people just don't pay attention. And I feel like that's why it's important for me to keep on putting out these videos. And that's why I was mad at myself. I didn't put out 1 or 2 yesterday. But y'all already know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I definitely appreciate y'all. Let me know your comments, thoughts down below. Catch y'all next one.